It's not exactly the dog days of summer in Spearfish, South Dakota, but for Brent and Tracy Steinbach, there's nothing that can cool off their nearly 25-year partnership.
We're tight, we're strong together, and we feel like we can take on, a lot as long as we're together.
Brent liked to work out, I didn't. I went along because I wanted to hang out with him, I guess, and you can't just go to the gym and stand around.
Leisurely walks with furry friends are more in line with Tracy's speed, while Brent's strength lies around lifting.
It makes me feel good for the rest of the day. It's hard for me to get out in the cold garage in the middle of the winter, but as soon as I start moving the bar a little bit and it just really gives me that pick-me-up.
Brent's been lifting for more than 15 years, strengthening not only his physique, but his compassion. Since 2008, Brent and Tracy have worked with Special Olympics to show that lifting barriers is about more than just physicality. Yet there was one bar Brent himself couldn't seem to clear.
In 2018, in that year anyway, they started happening more and more and more, to the point where he was probably having an average of a seizure a day.
We tried seizure medication after seizure medication, and it turned out that it was a drug-resistant condition. I could throw drugs at it all day long, not going to stop the seizures.
Brent's dealt with a number of health issues over the years, but the seizures he was experiencing were the result of a form of epilepsy that didn't seem to have a definitive treatment. It was a problem he would have to face head on.
I'm a big documenter, so every time he would have a seizure, I would put it in my calendar and say what time of the day it was and what he was doing.
Come on, big breath.
And then I also started videotaping
Brent,
when he would have a seizure. Number one, so I could show him, because he didn't think they were a big deal, and he didn't remember them, so I could show him what his body was doing. Really, the only option for him was to remove a large portion of the right temporal lobe. And so that's what we did.
I underwent a big-time brain surgery. Took out a significant portion of my right temple of my brain. And so since then, we had to do a setback and go through the healing process, push weights aside for a while.
The heavy lifting for Brent would have to come away from the bench, but it's made the weight of his condition much lighter.
So far, I think it was a success. I feel like it was a success. I get more confidence every day. And the number of seizures I was having that Tracy documented was astronomical. And now it's eliminated virtually all of them.
It would take months for Brent to eventually get back to pursuing his passion. Just like these weights, he would try to push his restrictions to the limit. But it was only the strength and a resolve that had already been tested.
The neurologist knew that it was mentally more important for him to lift than it was risky for him to lift.
I do need that. And my wife has been kind enough and understanding enough to not only understand it with me, she encourages it.
And it's Tracy who's always been the rock of the relationship. Through the heaviest times and the toughest challenges, the Steinbachs will always be able to lift each other.
We want to be involved. We want to be good grandparents. We want our grandkids and our kids to have memories of us and have fun with us.
She's a huge encouragement and supporter. There's just too many, they talk about, your soulmate, it is, we're really meant to be, and, I think we're great supporters of each other. Now I'm gonna cry. And, like I told you earlier, that's one of the changes that I took on is I'm more emotional. So, but anyway, yeah, I have a great network. I love my family. So.
And joined now by David Brown. And Brent he's an amazing guy and very stubborn, apparently,
That he is.
right? He had all this going on and he had surgery set, but he delayed it for some reason. Why?
He wanted to compete at a national lifting event in Chicago, and so in consultation with his neurologist and of course his wife Tracy, they agreed that he could compete, but his neurologist made him promise her to bring back the medal from that competition. So a few weeks later, when the surgery was actually scheduled, he gave her a card with the medal inside, so he fulfilled his end of the bargain.
And he had surgery, obviously, and is now back in competition, right?
Yep, he's competing again. He was invited to a world competition in South Africa in 2020. Obviously, that got canceled because of COVID, but he is competing again locally. Last November, he won his weight division at a competition in Sioux Falls, and he actually claims he is lifting more now than he was before the surgery. It's just great to see a guy with a good head and a good heart have good things happen to him.
Yeah, he's good people. Great story. Thanks a lot, David Brown.